Money. It's very, very important. And it's something that's becoming more and more precious every day. And as much as I love the game of Pokemon TCG, it can get a bit expensive sometimes when you start to consider the price of international flights, tournament entries and hotel costs too. But don't worry, Hot Choc is here to save you some money. You see, come format rotation, the meta will shift and certain older cards will become extremely playable. And if you watch this video to the end, you'll be ahead of the masses. So you can buy them nice and early before they get expensive. Starting off with Giratina V-Star. Now this might be the most obvious couple cards that are going to spike in value once rotation hits, but trust me, it's for a good reason. When the format starts to fill with 2 prize Pokemon that have 330 HP or more, Giratina's V-Star Star Requiem being able to just clear them out instantly with no counterplay since Big Parasol rotates is absolutely crazy. Giratina right now is going for around £8 on eBay, and I could easily see it doubling come rotation time, especially if it has top results at EUIC, which I think it will. It's currently arguably the best deck in format come rotation time, and I think you would be silly to not pick these up real quick before it gets a little bit outrageous. Top tip, use the Tim promo Giratina V to save yourself even more money. And here is a deck list for Giratina V-Star come rotation time that you can sink yourself into. Next up is VIP Battle Pass. Now this is a big one. If you haven't got a playset of these already, then you need to get your hands on some right now. Because before the new battle decks came out, VIP Battle Pass was going for close to £5 a card. That's £20 a playset. And I can see it easily going back up to that price in a few months' time. If the meta starts to go towards evolving up stage 2s or even stage 1s, which it looks like Scarlet Violet sets are trying to promote, VIP Battle Pass lends itself really well to that strategy. Couple that with the fact that you normally need a full 4 count and multiple high tier decks will be playing it, this has the potential to spike loads. Reminds me a little bit of VS Seeker back from the XY era, which got as high as the £10 mark for an uncommon. And we don't want to be playing £40 for a playset of uncommons now, do we? Some other cards you need to buy ASAP are Tyranitar V, Stonejourner, Single Strike Energies and Urn Vitality. Single strike cards haven't been super meta relevant since the Evolving Skies time, apart from Duraludon, but that doesn't really count. But come rotation, it seems to be the only way Lugia V-Star stays relevant. And trust me, it's still very relevant. In the last Champions League Aichi event in Japan, which had over 3,100 masters by the way, there were 4 Lugia decks in the top 16. All of which had a Tyranitar V focus. It can swing really hard on a basic attacker no less, and hitting for Dark Weakness is extremely good, since you slap me VMAX and Gardevoir respectively. Not only that, but it's a basic Pokemon with 230 HP too, meaning that it's going to take a little bit of investment for your opponent to clear out the way. Cragalanche is also a really good attack against Lost Box decks since it discards the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck. And since cards like Scoop Up Net leave the format, Lost Box's resources are very, very important. And against everything else, Single Strike Crush for 240 damage is pretty crazy, especially when you consider you can Primal Turbo 4 Single Strike Energy straight from your deck, making this hit scarily hard. We also have the Stonejourner to hit for fighting weakness as well. You could also include Umbreon V and Umbreon V Max here too, since that is also an off variant of this deck, but they can be pretty expensive, so just keep that in mind. Ding ding ding, another top tip. There's also a Tim promo Tyranitar V2, which will be a little bit cheaper and in my opinion looks even nicer. And once again, I'm treating you well here. Here are a couple Tyranitar V Lugia lists for the post rotation format that you can start to practice with. Radiant Greninja is a card which if you haven't got, you need to get a hold of ASAP. Radiant Greninja is the most splashable Radiant card and it will not be going anywhere in the post-rotation format. Its concealed cards ability allowing you to discard an energy and draw 2 throughout the whole game is huge and is massive for card economy. And it will definitely see play in Giratina decks, Lost Box decks and Gardevoir decks too, all of which had multiple top 16 placements in Aichi. And bear in mind its Moonlight Shuriken attack is perfect for KOing evolving basics before they can get up to their EX HP. such as KOing 2 Volts for example. And as new cards and decks come out, the idea of drawing extra cards throughout the whole game on a one prize Pokemon on the bench is never ever a bad idea. So do yourself a favour, pick one up now while they're nice and cheap, because trust me, they won't be cheap for long. Speaking of Gardevoir, you're going to have to get your hands on the relevant Curlier, Volts and Gallades, since they will all spike loads in value come rotation time. The Curlier from Silver Tempest is the one that we're going to have to get our hands on, since it has the ability Refinement, which allows you to discard a card from your hand and then draw 2. This is going to be great for getting out the rest of your evolution pieces and or combo pieces. And then you'll also have to get your hands on a couple of Gardevoir from Chilling Reign, since it also has a very similar ability Shining Arcana, except this time you can just look at the top 2 cards, put them in your hand, and any basic energy you can attach. And you can also attack with Brainwave, which does 60 plus 30 for each psychic energy attached to this Pokemon. Honestly, not a bad attacker, considering it only gives up 1 prize. And since Pokemon really love the Volts line, there's also a Gallade which you might have to consider just in case it becomes playable in the deck too, since it has an ability Buddy Catch, which lets you search your deck for a supporter and put it in your hand. So let me get this straight, you can draw cards, grab supporters from the deck and attach energy from the deck too, all whilst going +2 in card economy. If you can get all these pieces out, Gardevoir is looking rather intimidating. And bear in mind, the Gardevoir lines are all fan favourites, which normally means if they are playable, the prices can skyrocket and get out of hand. Sneaky shout out here to the Celebrationzation V2, since that is also played in Gardevoir decks and has the potential to get a little bit more in value, because it has insane synergy with Sky Seal Stone. And here's another couple Gardevoir deck lists for you to look at, including the second place one from that Champions League event. One card that Gardevoir players will not like to see is Path to the Peak. And in a similar way to VIP Battle Pass, this is an already old card that has a ton of meta power, due to its tech shutting off rulebox Pokemon abilities, not just strictly Vs. This means in the next format you can use this to stop EX abilities too, such as Gardevoir. And I'm sure there'll be a ton of disruption decks moving forward, so do yourself a favour and get a playset of Path to the Peak now, so you don't have to pay over the odds later. But this last one though, these have the potential to spike the most, so you need to act fast to save yourself the most money. I'm talking about the Lost Box single prize cards. So Comfey, Sableye, Cramorant, and Snorlax too. I guess we can include the Zamazenta from Crown Zenith here too. The Lost Box is poised to be a top deck contender moving forward, especially since it won the Champions League Aichi event. So as the Lost Box cards age and the format moves more towards evolving low HP basics, Sableye just gets better and better. And as Sableye gets better and better, so will its value. But here's the crazy part, every Sableye deck will need at least 4 Comfey, so their prices will always be linked. And at that point you might as well just get a sneaky Cram in there, a Snorlax and maybe a Zamazenta here too. So it makes sense to pick them all up now to save yourself some killer purchases in the long run. And here's a couple Lost Box lists for you to look at. So let me know if you're going to pick up any of these cards. I really think you should, because the post-rotation format is looking really fun, and I don't want you to spend any extra money than you need to. And if buying cards one at a time doesn't sound like your style, why don't you consider checking out the channel sponsor Pokédex for you, link in the description, where you can buy any deck, any spec you like, and he will send it straight to your house as early as the next working day. Hit the like button if you like the video, and why don't you check out this video here where I'll show you 7 charts that will make you change the way you look at the Pokemon TCG.